He lays there at night, not asleep, not awake, just trapped in the noise of his own thoughts. The world is silent, but his mind is a battlefield. One thought leads to another, and another, and another. Regrets from 5 years ago. What someone said last week. What might go wrong tomorrow. And before he knows it, it's 3:47 a.m., and he hasn't slept a second. That's what overthinking does. It doesn't scream. It whispers, quietly, relentlessly, until you start believing that your thoughts are stronger than your will to move. People look at him and call him lazy. They don't see the war happening behind his eyes. They think he doesn't care. But the truth is, he cares too much. He wants to do it right. He wants to succeed. He wants to make no mistakes. And that desire, when poisoned by fear, becomes overthinking. It paralyzes him. He makes plans and doubts them. He imagines the future, then gets crushed by all the what ifs. He rewrites his messages 10 times, rehearses conversations in his head, avoids risks because his mind convinces him it'll all fall apart. He's not weak, he's just tired. Tired of being stuck in the loop of his own mind. You see, overthinking doesn't just steal your time, it steals your spirit. It convinces you that movement equals danger. It makes comfort feel safer than progress. It makes you overanalyze every word, every move, every failure. And worst of all, it makes you feel alone. Like nobody else understands what it's like to be trapped in your own head, screaming silently for help, while smiling at the world like everything's okay. But it's not okay. How many dreams died because someone couldn't stop overthinking them? How many relationships were ruined because someone couldn't stop assuming the worst? How many goals were abandoned not because they were impossible, but because the mind kept saying, what if I fail? What if I'm not enough? That's what overthinking is. It's the quiet assassin of everything you could have been. He remembers sitting in front of a blank page, trying to write a message that mattered. Hours passed, nothing came out. Not because he didn't know what to say, but because his mind whispered, what if they laugh? What if they ignore it? What if it's not perfect? Perfectionism is overthinking wearing a mask. And the saddest part? He knew deep down that he was made for more. He knew he had something to say, something to build, a life to live. But every time he tried to step forward, his mind grabbed him by the ankle and said, not yet. You're not ready. Wait a little more. Think it through again. So he waited. Days, weeks, months, and life kept passing by until one day he broke, not because someone pushed him, but because he finally got sick of the silence. He got sick of waiting. He got sick of living in fear of things that hadn't even happened. He looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself anymore. The fire in his eyes was gone, replaced by doubt, anxiety, paralysis. That was the moment something in him snapped. Asked himself, what am I so afraid of? He realized something terrifying. He had become his own enemy, not the world, not society, not his parents. It was him. His own mind, his own fears, his own delay. And once he accepted that brutal truth, he decided to fight back, not with anger, not with denial, but with small, silent, unstoppable action. He stopped waiting for clarity. He started moving with confusion. He stopped chasing perfect plans. He started executing in perfect steps. He gave. himself permission to be messy, to fail, to try again. And suddenly, something shifted. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly. He began to feel free. Free from the pressure to always be right. Free from the belief that he had to figure it all out alone. Free from the voices in his head that said, "You can't." He learned that clarity comes from action, not overthinking. When he started walking toward his fears, they started fading. When he faced the thoughts head-on instead of running, they began to lose power. When he did the things he was scared of, his brain started rewiring. And do you know what he discovered? That the world wasn't as scary as his mind made it out to be. That failure didn't kill him. It shaped him. That rejection wasn't the end. It was redirection. That his thoughts were just thoughts, not facts. That's the day his life began to change. He started waking up earlier. Not because he had a perfect routine, but because he refused to waste more time thinking in bed. He started talking to people more. Not because he wasn't scared of judgment, but because he realized silence was killing his spirit. He started creating, writing, building, not because he knew it would succeed, but because doing was better than doubting. And every step he took, no matter how small, was a slap in the face to the part of him that said, "You can't." Because yes, overthinking still shows up. It still whispers, but now he doesn't listen, Now he moves anyway. That's how you win. Not by becoming fearless, but by acting despite fear. Not by erasing the thoughts, but by refusing to obey them. Not by having perfect confidence, but by choosing to walk even with trembling hands. And if you're listening to this right now, I know one thing for sure. You've been overthinking something. Maybe everything. A conversation. A career move. A message you never sent. A dream you keep postponing. But today, right now, you have a choice. You can stay in your mind where everything feels safe but nothing grows. Or you can step out, trembling, uncertain, but free. Free to try. Free to learn. Free to fail. Free to finally start. Because the truth is, the people who win in life aren't the ones who think the most. They're the ones who act the most. They don't wait to feel ready. They move before they're confident. They risk imperfection. They build as they go. And that's what I want for you. I want you to stop overthinking your life away. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop believing every thought that enters your head. Stop assuming failure before you've even tried, because the world isn't waiting for your thoughts. It's waiting for your action, so get up. Right now, take one small step, then another, and another, before your mind talks you out of it again, because this life is too short to be lived inside your head. It's meant to be felt, lived, and experienced. Not just thought about, so stop overthinking. Start living before it's too late.